It's good to be back, baby, and it's especially good if it's for some more Ashes. After reviewing episode 1 and 2 along with Dead Man Walking a few months ago, and after the whole experience kinda settled some more, I was really stoked to see what the future of Ashes might bring. I was mightily impressed by episode 1 and 2, and I have to say that especially 2 blew me away with all the content, interactivity, and simple good fun it offered. While Hard Reset is no direct continuation of the story, it serves as a prequel to some of the things we saw in the main episodes. Hard Reset features a new, well technically old Scav, Walker, and his mission to lead a group of soldiers into the city and Spire, which is already familiar to us from the main branch of Ashes. At first, it would be unfair to judge Hard Reset by comparing it to episode 1 and 2, especially 2. Hard Reset is much more along the lines of Dead Man Walking, a straightforward adventure without much of the things we've been spoiled by in the main episodes. However, it is quite clear that it is also a testing ground for some ideas we might see in the future of Ashes as well. The first thing I noticed, compared to all the previous Ashes content, Hard Reset seems to be leaning a little bit more in the direction of horror. This is especially propped up by the careful and masterfully done audio design ranging from the soundtrack, which is another excellent example of John Weekly and his works on Ashes, along with the audio effects that are very carefully designed in most levels. Creaking, growling, moments where the music is turned off for dramatic effect and suspension. Ashes was always an atmospheric game, so therefore the whole vibe was still being kept in Hard Reset as well. However, there is a slight difference in writing that is noticeable as well. While Ashes was never devoid of humor or similar things, especially if you kept looking for Easter eggs, Hard Reset has, in my opinion, some sequence and immersion breaking moments, especially, for example, when a band of mutants pops up in the middle of a fight and starts playing. It kinda takes you out of the action and carefully crafted atmosphere. The difference in writing is noticeable. It is more elaborate than in Dead Man Walking, but the minimalist setting of "they stole my bike, I'm getting it back" is much simpler, yet somehow also more effective than the writing I see in Hard Reset. While Hard Reset has a serious undertone in story, the military expedition to find Athena along with the Blackwater, which I will mention shortly, it is kinda broken up by silly moments such as the band mentioned, which serve no purpose. I guess they are meant to be funny moments and curiosities to break up the action, but the real question is, why would you want to break up the atmosphere if you were carefully crafting it from the first moment on? While I'm very much clueless about the technical capabilities as such, some of the things I keep seeing in Ashes just blow me away, especially considering the fact that this is, in essence, a Doom mod. It's quite clear that many new ideas are being introduced and tested in this filler episode. Some moments of top-tier atmosphere and showcasing what you can actually do include a labyrinth of mirrors, which really hammers home the whole play of reflection and atmosphere, along with the fact that Hard Reset brings new enemy types to the game as well. Some are not as impressive as they are deadly. Seriously, fuck Wendigos, which are super fast, love to strafe around and basically two-shot you.
Big man thing, yeah? It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
But I've been especially impressed by the possessor worms, which are, I know you would never have guessed, worms that possess mannequins, which are creepy enough in Ashes anyway since the models turn towards you at all times. The cool thing about these is that you can destroy a mannequin, the worm will remain and it will not be overly aggressive towards you, but will slither around to find another mannequin to possess. This is especially apparent in the mall level, which is full of mannequins as well. Honestly, I have no idea how these work, but it's impressive enough that the AI is capable of doing that and actually navigating the map, avoiding the player, and finding new mannequins, and then once again attacking. Some other cool ideas are apparent as well. The obvious inspiration taken from how Fallout handles important characters in dialogue. The portraits or heads during dialogue are now a new feature that is also implemented in Hard Reset. Some of the missions here will also have you fight alongside the National Guard soldiers you're guiding as well, so it seems that group combat with friendly NPCs is another thing that is being tested here, alongside the fact that it makes sense with Walker's story. Since the gameplay is basically the same as in other Ashes content, there is not really much to add to it that I haven't already pointed out in my initial review. The gameplay is tight, the shooting is fun and engaging, the enemies are varied and well designed. It's just a straightforward experience that at times shines with really top-notch atmospheric areas and sequences that someone obviously put a lot of thought into. Walker is of course the scav we met back in the main episode. He saved the main character and drug him back to Michonne Circle. Walker's quest begins with some apparently random scavenging. After the initial mission, Walker gets back to town just to find some more rumors about a scav that went to a local farm acting strange. After investigating the area, taking out some local bandits and finding the locals dead, Walker finds the dead scav with his rifle. The scav has a notebook on him, which tells the story of him finding 3 locked suitcases which he sold for scrap. However, it seems that the scav was being hunted, feeling the ever-closing danger which ultimately got to him. Upon his return, the barman informs Walker that there is a group of soldiers in town looking for a guide. Sounds like a lucrative job Walker might want to check out. Hard Reset focuses on this mission. The group of soldiers are the remnants of the National Guard, with General Isaias Gray, which we already met in episode 1, as the unnamed new National Guard general mentioned by Athena. This was also confirmed in episode 2. The general states his ambition to reach the Spire in the city, and Walker is the best man for the job when it comes to actually leading him there. Hard Reset is basically documenting Walker's adventure to the Spire, along with tying up some loose ends that were left unexplained in the main branch of Ashes. A mostly unclear, to me at least, detail is the whole deal with the black water, which seems to be a chemical substance of sort that is being used by a group of bandits to prop up their strength. While it is introduced as a basically dangerous substance that kinda turns them insane, Walker is forced to take the same black water after being wounded by a particularly nasty mutant warlord. This is where the game introduces a very scarcely explained mutant girl that saves Walker and tells him about the powers of the black water. This mutant girl, Barney, can see the future and plans to use Walker to tie in some of the future events that are bound to happen, which is also heavily implied by the end of the episode. The black water, which strengthens Walker, but also seems to slur his speech and give him psychic visions, is seemingly meant to explain the way he acts and is in the previous episodes, which technically take place after Hard Reset. The episode ends with Walker leading the general to the Spire, but bailing out last moment and finally killing the mutant warlord which wounded him earlier. Walker seems to have a rather sweet deal here, getting out alive from the city and acquiring a mutant girlfriend. Wholesome. In any case, the writing in Hard Reset seems to be a little erratic, like there were multiple people coming up with different storylines and someone made minimal effort to tie it all in together. While the story works, it is my least favorite Ashes story, where even Dead Man Walking with its simple premise seems to fit better into the whole Ashes universe. From a gameplay standpoint, Hard Reset is better than Dead Man Walking, but I'd still rank it lower than episode 1 and 2. That is not much of a critique, as I've enjoyed it immensely, but it just does not seem to be on the level of episode 1 and 2, especially 2 with its open-ended stalker-like approach to gameplay. However, I'm pretty sure it's not meant to be either. It's meant as a straightforward linear adventure, a lore explanation that you can play through, and a technical playground for some ideas that we will probably see in episode 3. If we see it and play it like that, then it's another Ashes entry that I can only recommend, even though Walker gets minus points from me since he has no bike. I'll see you guys in episode 3.